The Pack-a-Punch has held a mystery for over 10 years that we have only just solved. In this video, I want to use some lore from the edges of the zombie storyline, as well as some of the information contained in the leaked Treyarch developer documents. I want to divulge the answers behind what is inside the Pack-a-Punch machine. Just where do your weapons go when inside the various iterations of this machine, and what happens to that? And the key to this mystery lies all the way back in Black Ops 3. All of that and more will be unveiled in this video, so stay tuned. To kick things off, so that we are all on the same page, let's dive into the origins of the Pack-a-Punch machine, a staple of Call of Duty Zombies that's been transforming weapons into powerhouse versions since its debut on Der Riese. Its story begins in the late 19th century in Purgatory Point, a dusty old west town, where a blacksmith named Jebediah Brown had a life-changing encounter. In 1885, two otherworldly beings, whom Brown mistook for divine angelic figures, appeared to him with a mission. They guided his hands to construct a strange device called the Pack-a-Punch. This machine was designed to upgrade weapons and empower a strange artifact called the Vril Vessel, part of the larger Agarthan device. When activated, the first Pack-a-Punch unleashed such immense energy that it displaced Purgatory Point underground to Angola, Africa, and triggered an undead outbreak. Later, pieces of Brown's invention were recovered by Group 935, a scientific organization under Dr. Edward Richtofen during mining operations in Angola. He assigned Dr. H. Porter to replicate the device, leading to its widespread production for Group 935's experiments. After World War II, other organizations like Ascension Group and Broken Arrow, after receiving remnants of Group 935 scientists and blueprints, also began reproducing the machine, expanding its presence across the timeline. Its ability to enhance weapons became legendary, yet its inner workings remain a mystery. I will play some quotes about it now.
I've always wondered about that little sign. What exactly are they trying to imply?
Perhaps we ourselves created this manufacturing device on our previous travels.
This machine was built by a good man, a blacksmith in the Old West. I hope I can one day thank him.
This leads us to a key question we are focusing on today. What does the Pack-a-Punch machine actually do? When a weapon is placed in its portal, where does it go for those 5 or so seconds it disappears? And why does it return so significantly upgraded? With increased power and often unearthly designs with its camos. These unanswered questions suggest ties to forces unknown to the likes of even Ultimus Richtofen. However, I think we have already discovered the key to this mystery, and just didn't know it. Play this quote now.
Forged in fire, bound by magic, this machine holds many mysteries.
In a previous video, which we'll link on screen and in the description, we explored the cut content from Shadows of Evil found in the leaked Black Ops 3 developer documents. One standout feature was an Easter egg involving a boss fight with the Civil Protector to upgrade it into a golden version, and in this video we are diving into a specific part of that quest to set up a deeper discussion. Here's a quick recap to catch you up. The Easter egg begins by using Beast Mode to electrify the Civil Protector at designated spots, causing it to glitch, fly upwards, and speak erratically. This triggers the robot to collect one of 4 Apothecon rune stones, each linked to the map's ritual symbols and hidden in high up locations. With every stone, the Protector references visions of unimaginable horror. After collecting all 4, it malfunctions, grappling with its programming to protect humans and neutralize threats, only to realize the undead are threats and humans can become undead, creating a logical conflict. The robot then explodes, and when summoned again, it turns hostile, announcing new directive: kill all humans, and attacks players with reduced lethality compared to zombies for a fair fight. After defeating it, players take the Protector's head to the Pack-a-Punch portal, where a tentacle pulls it in. The head returns as a golden, upgraded Civil Protector that exclaims, "It's a magical place," and aids the player as a loyal ally. We want to highlight this final quote, as it implies the Protector glimpses the mysterious dimension inside of the Pack-a-Punch machine. So now that we know our Pack-a-Punch machines go to a place of some sort that seems magical, we just need to determine where that place is. And luckily for us, Shadows of Evil's kickoff documentation gives us some really solid insight as to where that might be, thanks to its explanation of the Pack-a-Punch quest. It refers to the quest as the Invitation Ritual. The Invitation Rituals must be performed by the people marked by the Apothecon beast symbol, the Cursed, and requires them to sacrifice 4 other innocents to allow Apothecon gateworms to enter Earth's dimensional plane. The 4 gateworms and their energy must be channeled and sacrificed to the Apothecon Rift Stone. Once the Invitation Rituals are completed, a rift will open between dimensions, allowing the Apothecon Elder Gods to enter and feast on the flesh of the living. Completing the rituals will give players access to the Pack-a-Punch portal. After the channeling is complete, the Pack-a-Punch portal opens and the players can pack their weapons. So this large stone, the Apothecon Rift Stone, serves as the basis of the portal, and the portal gives the Apothecons direct access to Dimension 63 and Morgue City. And we know, at this time in the storyline, exactly where the Apothecons are. The Apothecons, at this point in the Aether story, are trapped inside the Dark Aether, trying their best to get out. Well, at the time we had very little, if any, concrete information on the Dark Aether, we would later learn much more about how the Apothecons ended up trapped there, the way that it caused them to transform and corrupt and mutate, and their many attempts at escape. Applying this information back to Shadows of Evil and combining it with what we learn from the documentation spells out exactly where the Riftstone goes, the Dark Aether. This makes complete sense with the Civil Protector saying it's a magical place upon its return, and even creates a very interesting parallel with Klaus at the ending of Mauer der Toten. Klaus is also a robot character who is sent through a portal to the Dark Aether to only have a one-line response. Perhaps this scene with Klaus is some sort of reinterpretation of the cutscene with the Civil Protector in reference to it. Either way, we can now take a look at how the Shadows of Evil Pack-a-Punch works in comparison to the various machines we see. We know that Shadows of Evil uses this Riftstone instead of a regular machine. However, each of the guns come out upgraded in the exact same way any other Pack-a-Punch machine does in the game and how they upgrade them. It seems likely then the same process is being applied with both. It is likely that inside of the Pack-a-Punch there is some kind of similar gateway as to the one on the Rift Stone. In the Pack-a-Punch machine, the bowling ball retrieval wheels on the inside pull your gun inside to the gateway, then pull it back out. In Shadows of Evil, without the mechanisms to put the gun in and out of the gateway, instead a tentacle reaches out for the gun and then hands it back to you. Different presentation, but ultimately the same process. Obviously with it being a lot more overt on Shadows. This suggests then that all Pack-a-Punch machines actually take your guns to the Dark Aether to transform them. Now, probably not the original intention when they came up with the Pack-a-Punch design, but retroactively can be applied as such. But is it really possible for Jeb Brown, as directed by the Keepers, to be able to build something capable of accessing the Dark Aether in such a way? I believe so. We know that the purpose of the Pack-a-Punch machine, as discussed earlier, was to upgrade the Vril vessel for the Agarthan device, and the Vril vessel is actually covered in both Apothecon and Keeper writing that we can translate, thanks to both languages now being solved. What we want to highlight here is the text that reads, "Hold captive, light and shadow." We can combine that with what we know the purpose of the Vril vessel to be, combining the Keepers, Apothecons, and all of Elements 115 to cast into the Dark Aether and break the cycle, reforming as one. All of this in tandem seems to suggest that not only were the Keepers well aware of the Dark Aether's power and requirements for ending the cycle, but also were capable of creating devices channeling its power. The Dark Aether's greatest artifact in the universe at the time, the MPD, was even created by Keepers at one point. If Keepers created this device and required it to be imbued with both light and shadow, they could surely put the power of the Aether in it themselves. This would leave them needing the shadow, the Dark Aether. And what is it the Keepers ask Jeb Brown to do with the Vril vessel after its creation? Stick it inside the Pack-a-Punch machine, sending it, albeit briefly, into the Dark Aether, just as it does with our weaponry. He also Pack-a-Punches his own mother, which of course mutates her into an undead. The town then becomes overrun with zombies as well, as it is ripped through space and time. That is because she literally got sent into the dark ether, returning as a ghostly figure. This would also explain why, unlike teleporters and many other magical science in the Ether story, the Pack-a-Punch is never explained to function by sending your guns to the ether or something else to do with the ether. It was actually connected to the dark ether, also explaining why it still functions even now. The same could be said for the mystery box. It likely opens up a rift to pull weapons from across all of space and time, from the dark ether and other multiverses in the ether, through the bridged veils, since it's a combination of space and time. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, even if you look at the Origins Pack-a-Punch variant, which returns on the Eisendrache, which is sort of a keeper variant of the Pack-a-Punch, I would assume, it does glow this bright light, and it's probably doing the same as the Group 935 rendition of the Pack-a-Punch, again sending them through rifts to the dark ether to upgrade said weapons. And the fact that Golden Pack-a-Punch, which returns on Tag the Totem, was the original by Jeb Brown, is again a kind of little bit of a callback to the cut Golden Civil Protector Easter egg on Shadows of Evil that would have clued us in to this. It seems all Pack-a-Punches upgrade via the dark ether, and this makes a lot of sense with the newer version of the Pack-a-Punch, the Forge in the Dark Ether narrative. This time it is a literal portal at the center of its core, and obviously this version of the Pack-a-Punch is a broken up and repaired piece by Zykov in the Dark Ether timeline that he found scattered across his time in the Dark Ether. So this suggests that portal is basically the inside of what the Pack-a-Punch was before, but now it's been reformed so it's a lot more visual and right there at the forefront, and Treyarch teased it to us all the way back then. It has always been a rift to the Dark Ether, and I guess if you Pack-a-Punch inside of the Dark Ether itself, like you can on Ashes of the Dam for example, you're essentially sending a rift into the Dark Ether from within the Dark Ether, but the Dark Ether is made up of different pockets of time and bubbles. As Ashes of the Dam for example seems to be one big pocket, so it does make sense that this can function in this way. But what do you think? Does the Pack-a-Punch connect to the Dark Ether? Is this the reason that earlier characters in the story couldn't understand the way the machine worked because it connected to a dimension they could not comprehend at the time? Or am I just looking way too deeply at the old lore? I don't think so, but I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I love going back to the old story, reinterpreting things with the new revelations we've gotten from the modern storyline. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.